Well, hey there, this is Jerry, and I'm bringing you another episode of What's Broke Today. And today, I actually have an older go-kart that this thing's called a Super Wheels by Carter. I had a basic, bare bones go-kart that they made. Well, I don't know how old the owner is, but this was his when he was like 10 years old, and he kept it and still has it. And now, the object is to get it ready for his kids. And he did start working on it, but the mechanical stuff of this, not everybody fixes stuff like I do. So, and I'm actually kind of excited he brought it to me and trusts me to figure it out and get it going. That I know he's had the head off. He had worked on the recoil starter once and it messed up again. So right now the rope won't even pull. So I think we'll start by trying to get this recoil starter off and figure out what's wrong with it. Oh, that ain't a good sign. Yeah, let's pull that cylinder head back off just to look. Because I think one of the bolts is in the wrong spot anyway, because it's not all the way down. And I'll edit out some of this of me doing bolts. We'll pull all that off. Head gasket's not in too bad a shape. I got Kat's ashes out here. She's going to be helpful today. Alright, I hope she's going to try and be helpful. She may just be wanting me to get this ready because she wants to go for a go-kart ride. Yeah, I don't believe that. We start talking about firing this thing up and driving it. I bet you she hightails it for the hills. Memory serves me correct. Those three longer bolts go over by the exhaust. So we're going to go with that for now. Big of an issue. Oh, and I bet you our spring and our recoil is broke. Because see, I pulled it out there and now it's not not retracting again. Yep, so we need a recoil starter. Dang. I wanted to get more than that done today. But I did see spark. So I guess I'll pull the recoil back off again. So, I'll get our numbers and look that up. And then, okay, I'll use the drill to turn it. Okay, I do see spark. Okay. So I order a starter. I'm going to definitely order a head gasket. Now, pull that out of the way. That don't look too bad. Another common thing that these will need to get running is this diaphragm on the side of the carburetor. I'm just going to go ahead and pull the cover off, and we're going to take a look at it. Well, cats are knocking things over and scaring themselves. Yeah, they don't look too good. Maybe, yeah, I'm getting a light. I'll shine my light on the back side and look right in this corner. And you can see, where you can see all the light through it, means the rubber's deteriorated, and that probably wasn't doing any fuel pumping. My only other concern is the quality of the gas. You know, did it have what smells like stinky gas sitting in it for a while? And okay, well, I'll get the gas out of there, and even though I don't like the taste of gas, I get a very long hose, and this way I can start my siphon and not get gas in my mouth. A lot of times I've got an electric pump I can hook up to the battery, and we can just pump it out that way too. I also got the thing while I was walking back to the back. I bet I got an engine I can steal a recoil starter off of, because I've got one of these engines that has a thrown rod, and I think it's the same starter. I'll have to bolt it onto this housing, but I think it's the same starter. There's more in there than I thought there was. But, I mean, a good indication on our gas, I mean, you look at that color, I mean, it's really dark, and if you do the, I mean, this will sound funny, but you may look at the jar and then you smell it. It smells like pickle juice, even though I know it's not. Yeah, I think I want to. I'm going to take this and go put it in my zero turn. And see, I took that and dumped that in my zero turn riding mower. But I dumped it in the tank that's actually empty, because since it's spring, I'm going to put and mix and put 5 gallons of premium no ethanol in my zero turn starting out the spring. Just because the gas in it just sitting all winter, I mean, it goes stale. You know, they sell, you know, like Stay-Bill and other products to keep the gas fresh, but depending on the concentration of ethanol, the weather, humidity, I've never found anything that really worked to keep it fresh for 4 or 5 months. Okay, I took the recoil starter off another motor and swapped it over, and then for now, since the head gasket didn't look that bad, I'm just going to go ahead and take the torque wrench let's torque this cylinder head down. We just kind of want to do it in a crisscross pattern. Get that spark plug out of there. I'd take, let's say start here, I click, and I skip 1, 2, and I tighten. At 1, 2, and I tighten. Then I get back around here, 1, 2, there's where I started. Then I'm gonna tighten. 1, 2, tighten. 1, 2, tighten. 1, 2, tighten. 1, 2, tighten. And then 1, 2, I'm back to where I started. Okay. That looks good, and I mean that pretty good compression. And then these diaphragms for the carburetors, I buy them in bulk because always keep them on hand because you don't see a ton of them anymore. But when you need it, you need it. So we get our screws that go in it ready. And we need to have our screwdriver handy. And basically I just take this and line it up on here. Where it needs to go, and then get it the right direction. And then our spring and our little cup, the metal cup piece, goes up against the diaphragm. I'm just going to come down here and very carefully, well, I'll put the spring and the diaphragm up in. Then we'll get the diaphragm up there. There we go. Basically get everything started. And this can be a pain in the rear, so just got to be patient with it. And I want to get all the screws started before I tighten any of them up, because that spring is and little disc is pushing up against the this diaphragm. And actually, once I get them all started, I'm just going to take my thumb and push it up there and hold it, and then tighten the screws. And really what I need to do now is see if I got some fresh gas here. I put premium no ethanol fuel in it. We got our choke working. Throttle's up front. I'm just going to manually work it by hand. And I'll say, because you have the carburetor on this mounts to the top of the tanks. It's what they'd call like a pulse jet carburetor. The little diaphragm I actually put in here is actually a fuel pump. It's going to pull the fuel from the tank up into a little pocket that's in the top of the tank that kind of works like the fuel bowl. And it'll keep pumping fuel and keep that bowl full, and any excess fuel in that bowl will just overflow back into the tank. So keep our fingers crossed that hopefully this thing will fire up. like that. Let me put this breather hose back on here, which it must have fallen down to the ground because it's spitting fuel up through that hole in the tank where I took this clamp off. I thought I'd take the time today to investigate our centrifugal clutch, and gauge is way too early, so we'll take our little protective cover off, and well, that bearing and that is wore out. I don't know if you can see that wobble, but that's probably what's wrong with it. The bearing's bad, and it's causing it to drag, just the weight hanging down on it. Not to mention this chain is excessively worn and rusty, but if you look at the age of this go-kart, and I am sure that he rode this every chance he did when he was small, and we get this all going, his kids are going to have a blast on it. So, yep. There's that. Yeah, because we definitely need a new chain, and then I'll have to find the other half of that master link, even though I put it together, we're going to put a new one on. And we'll pop this off there real quick. That's a... Yeah, I might have to take that wheel completely off. Yeah, but that thing is wore out. We'll take pry the snap ring off. Because yeah, there should be a roller bearing. Well, this one's actually just a bushing in this one, and it is wore out. I mean, it is gone. But then also our springs, you can see it don't take hardly anything for me to pull that out. So our spring is wore out, and that looks new. So I'm gonna measure the shaft so I can get a new clutch, look that up, and get it ordered. Okay, well, I got parts in for this go-kart, and first thing we got to do is the chain, and these are good discount parts from the local cheap online people, which for something like this, I'm sure that this is adequate. But I got the new chain, which actually that's a lot more heavier chain than what I took off, even though I measured it out. But I'm gonna lay them side by side like so I can figure out my length. And once I know where I got to break the chain, uh-oh, thing's so rusty, getting it to lay in a straight line. So I'm going to go with, let's take it apart right there. So I'm just going to take that up, set it like so on the top of that socket, then start driving the pin down through. Once I get it flush, then I can take a pin punch. Drive it on through. Of course, I got it stuck in my socket, but that's no big deal. Alright, I got the socket off there, and then grab that and see if I can just twist that out of the way, and then that'll just slide off. And there's my new chain. Let's go over here and see how this is all going to fit together and see if we can get this thing running. And next we got is our new clutch. Bit out of the box. Of course, it comes with instructions. And when we compare, the new to the old, probably the biggest thing is this thing works nice and smooth. Having the sprocket assembly and the intersection bushing together right, where they're not basically rubbing on each other, makes a world of difference. See, I might want to bushing that up a little. That one's not quite as wide as the original. So let's push that up there. Okay. We can take our chain and go under the tire. Stay. I dropped my master link. Now I got the cat here ready to help. Well, Ash doesn't want me to mess things up. So she's bumping the camera so you'll know she's there. I'm going to start out with, I'm going to put my master link in. And I'll go ahead and rotate that up to the top. Put the outer link on. And then it really don't matter whether it's a go-kart, a motorcycle, or anything. You look at what direction is drive for this. So forward is going this way. So our clip is open on one end, and the opening always points the opposite of the direction of drive. So I got the opening pointed to the rear, and we just snap our clip on. There we go. And the reason we do that is just in case, let's say this is it's, you know, there's something laying here and that comes down. If it hits on the back side of that, it's rounded, but if it hits on the open end, it could catch it and flip it off, which would be bad. And I think I do want to find me a washer to put on the back side of the clutch. So give me just a minute, I'll be right back. Okay, what I came up with, I got some shimming washers that are for the front wheels on a garden tractor or even a lawn tractor. 3/4 inch hole, and they're hardened. So I'll just slowly pull both of these out. That way I don't have to undo the master link. I can just slide that off there, slide those on the crankshaft. Then we can put that back up on there. That looks good. And we can put can't torque this too tight because okay. And we could even slide that engine a little bit and adjust that chain if need be. But I think I'll drive it some before I do that. And of course, when I had this wheel off, I noticed that there's not a spacer in between the bearings and the wheel. So I don't want to put this nut back on with the impact. Because if we over tighten it, we'll mess up those bearings. And it's a locking nut, so yeah, that looks good. And that really isn't excessively bad slop, but we'll probably, after I run the chain a little bit, it'll probably have a little more. But the thing about it now is I'll actually be able to start it and set the idle properly, because before, with the clutch the way it was always dragging, so you couldn't ever set the idle speed. All right, I think all we got left to do is fire this thing up, maybe take her for a little drive, because that looks really good. Our clutch and chain cover on. Tighten that down. And let's see. I will tell you that this is the most uncomfortable ride I've had in a long time for this old man. And I got it running. I'll say it might still end up needing a new carburetor, because you know, you run high speed for very long, it does act like it runs out of gas a little bit, but you just take a small break, which for my back isn't a bad thing, and then it takes right on off. So I'll say I may just send it home, let his kids play on it a while, and we'll see how it does. I put some seafoam in the tank, and it may clean up that carburetor, but you know, so far, other than it's hard to drive for an old guy, it's been pretty fun. But I'll say I appreciate you watching this video on getting this go-kart going again. That always like those thumbs up for the likes. Appreciate all those comments. And hey, if you're not a subscriber, join on in, because they'll tell them what else you're going to see on What's Broke Today. Thank you.